my name is Charity Morris. I wanted to speak a little bit about our energy crisis and the impact our usage of natural resources has on the earth. We are now in the year 2018. We still rely heavily on fossil fuels, which create damaging pollution and are a limited resource. Fossil fuels are dangerous to extract, cause damage to ecosystems in the locations in which they are extracted, and when utilized, destroy the atmosphere. In 1992, the Union of Concerned Scientists put forth a report warning the U.S. and other countries that a change must be made. More than 1,600 scientists gathered data to compile this report. This report was less of a report and mostly a warning. In the beginning of the report, the author stated, "Human beings and the natural world are on a collision course. Human activities inflict harsh and often irreversible damage on the environment and on critical resources. If not checked, many of our current practices put at risk the future that we wish for human society and the plant and animal kingdoms, and may so alter the living world that it will be unable to sustain life in the manner that we know. Fundamental changes are urgent if we are to avoid this collision our present course will bring about. It is up to the government administrations across the globe to make some drastic changes towards conservation of our beautiful earth. It is important for these nations to find renewable resources that do not require extraction and destruction of the earth, but a harmonious balance. The human race must find alternative and renewable energy sources. Is wind energy the answer? With the continued use of fossil fuels such as oil and coal, we are depleting the ozone layer to dangerous levels. This, in turn, is speeding up the process of global warming, leading to climate change. Climate change is undeniable at this point. The weather patterns have already begun to change, causing more destructive hurricanes. In 2017, there were 16 separate billion-dollar or more climate events, including Hurricanes Maria, Harvey, and Irma. And damage for the year exceeded $300 billion, according to the USA Today. Hurricane Maria wiped out the power grid in Puerto Rico and claimed over 3,000 lives with its destructive path and the aftermath of this incredibly powerful storm. So many people lost their homes, their lives, their livelihood, and it took for a long time to rebuild, and they are still currently rebuilding. The fires on the West Coast are becoming more prevalent, more destructive, and more difficult to contain. This is due to the drier climate that is a direct result of climate change. With all of this overwhelming evidence and destruction, it is time to make a change, time to take steps to a better global future. If you travel to western Kansas, your trip through monotonous empty fields, feedlots, and various animal farms will be interrupted by awe-inspiring wind farms. It looks like something out of a science fiction novel. As you first approach the seemingly science fiction landscape, you feel an overwhelming sense of wonder. The windmills are so large and vast. The blades are larger than most vehicles on the road, and to the traveler it seems as though they go on forever. These farms can be found throughout the United States and other countries in the world are utilizing this technology. Companies have also decided to harness the power of the wind generated in the ocean by building these farms offshore. It seems as though there are more pros than cons when it comes to wind energy. Wind turbines can be installed on private properties, and this allows people to be mostly independent of the power grid. The wind turbines generate a little noise in addition to the electricity, which cause a minor disturbance to wildlife. Populations of avian wildlife, such as birds and bats, have suffered a little due to the lives lost to the wind turbines, but not close to the numbers of habitats destroyed due to coal mines or oil rigs. Another pro of wind turbines is that there is no risk of water contamination, unlike the devastation that has been caused by oil rigs in the ocean. There is little to no risk of polluting groundwater due to the fact that they do not use any source of fuel or generate fuel, only electricity. There is nothing to spill or run off. According to the Union of Concerned Scientists, there are no emissions associated with the operation of the wind turbines, but there are some emissions associated with the creation of parts and construction of the wind farms. According to their data, most estimates of wind turbines' life cycle global warming emissions are about 0.02 and 0.04 pounds of carbon dioxide equivalent per kilowatt per hour. To put this into context, estimates of life cycle global warming emissions for natural gas-generated electricity are between 0.6 and 2 pounds of carbon dioxide equivalent per kilowatt per hour, and estimates for coal-generated electricity are 1.4 and 3.6 pounds of carbon dioxide equivalent per kilowatt, the Union of Concerned Scientists say. So, the implementation of wind energy would still be significantly lower as a contributor to global warming. Wind turbines are not a perfect replacement and are definitely not without fault. In this video, produced by Engineering World, that called 5 Wind Turbines Which Failed, Environmentally Friendly, found on YouTube, you will see the dangers that wind turbines pose. As previously stated, the wind turbines have an effect on the avian wildlife. In addition, there have been several wind turbine maintenance fatalities due to blades flying off or fires from friction inside the turbines or other accidents not previously stated. Storms can cause damage to the turbines, and as this video shows, lightning can be extremely dangerous. In addition to the dangers turbines pose to those in close proximity, they do have an effect on global warming, but not related to their emissions, rather the way they affect the wind patterns. According to an article posted on Science Daily and senior author David Keith, wind beats coal by any environmental measure, but that doesn't mean that its impacts are negligible, says senior author David Keith, an engineering and public policy professor at Harvard University. We must quickly transition away from fossil fuels, he continues, to stop carbon emissions. In doing so, we must make choices between various low-carbon technologies, all of which have some social and environmental impact. According to this article, this scenario would warm the surface temperature of the continental U.S. by 0.24 degrees. Wind energy farms are a growing source of energy in the United States as well as the world, with France, Canada, and the United Kingdom as the leaders in wind energy, according to the Global Wind Energy Council. Although it is still a better alternative to coal and oil usage as our primary source of energy, after researching, it doesn't seem to be the best alternative. With the risks wind energy poses to the global temperature increase, as well as the dangers for some of the maintenance people, it seems we could continue to use wind energy, but also continue to search for better alternative resources. We should be continually searching for ways to provide a viable future for the generations to come. To do this, these questions must be asked, and we must actively seek the answers. What is the best alternate source of energy? Are we doing enough to reduce the future damage we will cause? How can we conserve the natural resources and preserve the planet for the future? So, as citizens of this beautiful earth, it is our duty to protect this amazing planet and all the life on it. We are now all aware of the damage we have done, and we must now move forwards and ensure the future of this planet. Our focus should be targeted towards creating less waste, decreasing our atmospheric pollution, and finding the best alternate energy source. We should not be sacrificing our earth for comfort and convenience. We should be living in harmony with all the earth has to offer. It is up to us to provide a better future and a cleaner planet.